The emergency broadcast pierced through subspace on all frequencies, carrying the unmistakable harmonics of desperation. Captain Velnara of the merchant vessel Gentle Current had sent it knowing full well that no civilized species would, or could, respond in time. This is Captain Velnara of the Altarian Merchant Marine. We are under attack by Krolic raiders in the Void Reaches. Our escort is destroyed. 43 civilian vessels, carrying nearly 10,000 souls, including younglings. The raiders. They're not taking prisoners this time. The message contained coordinates to the most forsaken corner of known space, a region so hostile that even pirates rarely ventured there. Radiation storms, gravity wells, and predatory void spawn made it a graveyard for ships and crews alike. Captain Velnara had sent the distress call to Earth not because she expected humans to care about alien merchants, but because humans were the only species insane enough to actually travel to the Void Reaches. They were Deathworlders, after all, the galaxy's resident madmen who treated hard vacuum like a pleasant stroll. What she hadn't expected was what emerged from hyperspace 12 hours later. The Indomitable was 3 kilometers of armored death, bristling with weapon systems that violated half the treaties in civilized space. Its massive bulk blotted out the distant stars as it materialized between the merchant convoy and the Krolic raiding fleet. Unknown Dreadnought, Admiral Krextal of the Krolic 7th Raiding Fleet transmitted, his voice carrying the arrogant confidence of a predator addressing prey. You are outnumbered 50-1. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed. The human response came in perfect Krolic dialect. Admiral Krextal, this is Captain Elena Vasquez of the Terran Defense Force. You have 30 seconds to release the prisoners you've taken and withdraw from this system. Krextal's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his species. Human, your single ship against my entire fleet? Your reputation for insanity is well-deserved. Admiral, Captain Vasquez replied calmly. You seem to be under the impression that the Indomitable is a ship. The massive dreadnought began to unfold. What the Krolic had taken for weapon arrays were actually docking bays. What they'd mistaken for armor plating were hull sections that retracted to reveal hangar after hangar of smaller craft. The 3-kilometer vessel wasn't a single dreadnought. It was a mobile fleet base containing 200 warships. Sweet void, Captain Velnara whispered as fighter squadrons poured from the Indomitable like angry insects from a disturbed hive. But it wasn't the fighters that made Krextal's blood freeze. It was what came after them. 20 massive shapes detached from the Indomitable superstructure, each one a fully armed cruiser that had been carried internally. Then came the destroyers, the frigates, and finally, the assault carriers loaded with marine dropships. In less than 10 minutes, what had appeared to be a single ship had become an entire battle fleet. Admiral Krextal, Captain Vasquez transmitted, her voice never losing its conversational tone. I notice you haven't begun your withdrawal. Are you experiencing mechanical difficulties? The Krolic fleet, which had seemed overwhelming moments before, now found themselves facing a force 4 times their size. But numbers weren't what made Krextal's tactical computer scream warnings. It was the way the human ships moved. They didn't maintain careful formations or follow standard fleet doctrines. They moved like predators, each vessel hunting independently while maintaining perfect coordination with the whole. They flowed around the Krolic positions like water around stones, cutting off escape routes before their enemies even realized they were trapped. Impossible, Krextal breathed. No species can coordinate that many vessels without quantum entanglement communicators. Admiral, his tactical officer reported, his voice trembling. They're not using quantum communications. They're not using any communications we can detect. It's like they're reading each other's minds. Captain Vasquez's voice cut through their confusion. Admiral, your 30 seconds expired. We're now operating under Terran Defense Directive 7. Protection of non-combatants in contested space. The human fleet struck simultaneously from 17 different vectors. The battle lasted exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds. When the last Krolic raider surrendered, Captain Velnara found herself facing a communication request from the Indomitable. Captain Velnara, the human woman on the screen said, "We've recovered your people from the raider holds. Medical teams are en route to treat the wounded. Is there anything else you need?" Velnara stared at the human captain, this Deathworlder who had just materialized an entire fleet from what appeared to be empty space. "Captain Vasquez," she managed. "How many ships does Earth actually have?" The human smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both reassuring and terrifying. "Enough, Captain. We have enough."